Hey friends, Kevin Gehring here, your Sacramento, Stockton area realtor and lender, here with this week's weekly real estate report. But before I get to the chart this week, let me tell you something that really grinds my gears. All right, so let's just say you want to buy a new TV. So you find a TV, it's $500, but you have a coupon for 10% off, right? That would be $50 off. So $500 TV, $50 off. How much money did you save? Nothing. You saved absolutely nothing. You spent $450 plus tax, right? So I hate it when people say you saved money. You didn't. You spend money. Saving money is when you actually put it in the bank. Now, if you want to say I spent $50 less than I would have, hey, I'm okay with that, right? So the reason why I bring this up is, I listen to the radio a lot. I do a lot of miles on my car doing what I do. A big area I covered, so I'm always listening to talk radio. And I hear a lot of these commercials for mortgages, and really bugs me to hear somebody say, and we saved them $300 a month. Well, I know what's going on behind the scenes, right? So just stick with me on this. Let's just say that you had a mortgage that you took out 20 years ago. And for the last 20 years, you've been paying $2,000 a month, and now you're down to the last 10 years of that mortgage. But you do a refinance to a new 30-year mortgage. You take what was left that you were going to pay off in 10 and stretch it out to 30 years. Well, what do you think is going to happen to the payments? The payments are going to go down, but you've extended out how long you're going to pay that mortgage for another 20 years. So without doing a bunch of math, let me just say you didn't save any money. You actually are spending a lot more money by stretching that mortgage out. So a reason why I bring all this up is I'm doing another series called The Dirty Little Secrets. And I want to show you in my next installment, you have to tune into that on my YouTube channel. And I want you to look at that. And I'm going to explain next week a formula, an easy formula to determine how to really save money and when you're saving money on a mortgage refinance, so that we stop looking at this, hey, look, my payment just went down $100, so I saved $100 a month. No, it doesn't work that way. Well, it does work that way, but stop saying you save money because you didn't. So check that out, and it's something you're going to want to look into if you're thinking about refinancing your house at all, to see if you are really saving money or just lowering your payment and stretching out the amount of money you're going to pay. And I'm going to give you a great formula, easy formula for when you should refi and when you should just walk away. It's tempting when rates get low. Everybody wants that lower rate, but sometimes the lower rate isn't really what's going to save you money. So having said that, let's take a look at the chart for this week and let me show you what's going on. All right, active homes on the market continue to hold in this low trough right here. Now, the good news is it's continuing to hold down here. It's not getting any worse. And this is something that I've expected this time of year, and I predict that it's going to last all the way through towards the end of March based upon past evidence here that we have. So we are all the way down here. The spread is something I talk about, the spread between the blue line, the pending sales, and the available homes. You can see that it's growing. It's getting worse. It is still not at its worst point. Right now, the spread is around 2,170 is the spread. The worst we've gotten into was right about almost 2,300. So we're not far off from the worst. We're at 2,100 and 2,300 is about the worst we've seen so far. So it's going to get, I think, a little bit worse. That is the bad news on that one. And of course, we say supply and demand, that's going to bring prices up. But, it's kind of behind my red line right here. But sales, they're down a little bit because about 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, we saw the amount of pending sales go down, and that's going to drive down later those sold homes. So that's expected to be down. It's expected to now go back up because pending sales are going up. But right behind that one, let me see if I can hide that line right there. Hide. No, that did not work. So technical problem. So anyway, behind there, I can tell you that the gold line, although it's continuing a trend upwards the last 2 weeks, it's pretty much held steady right there. Now let's talk about rates. Big news in rates. We've had some significant movement in the last couple of weeks on rates. Haven't seen much movement in a long time. Now it's funny, we get used to a certain number. And by that I mean, we talk about, a rate of 4 or 5%. Well, that's outrageous. But you talk to people who bought a long time ago. I'm trying to remember what I bought my first house for. It was close to like 10%, it's probably 8%. Anyway, it's what we get used to, right? And so now we're used to hearing about rates in the 2s and the 3s. And then, or actually in the 2s, now we hear the 3 and like, whoa, 3, that seems kind of high. It's not, think about it. Historically, 3 is fantastic. But rates, Freddie Mac is now reporting that rates are at 2.97. It was the average 30-year fixed rate for last week. Although the points came down a little bit. Usually it's 0.7 of a point. Like the week before it's 2.81 with 0.7 of a point up front. This week it's 2.97 with 0.6 of a point. So points went down a little bit to compensate. I think that's good news for some people. But remember, that's the average. That's what most people are getting for 30-year fixed. You can probably do better. Hopefully you don't do worse than that. Most of the loans that I seem to be doing are quite better than the Freddie Mac average. So there you go. That's the news for this week. Don't forget to check out the Dirty Little Secrets, where I'm explaining some inside mortgage things, and I hope to see you here next week. Take care. Bye.